that we are not the physical body, but we are actually 7 levels altogether. So when you look at a human being, when you want to interact with them or you want to heal them, you don't just heal the physical body, you heal all the 7 levels of our existence. And when we work with energy, we look to feed and heal and cure and clear all of these. So, okay, so today we are going to talk about structured or revitalized water. And I'm going to share a short video clip from a documentary called Secret of Water. It's very informative. It's just 2 minutes. But before I show you the clip, it's helpful to know something called the Rouleaux formation in blood. So normally, healthy blood cells should look like this on the left, where you have individual red blood cells with enough space around and floating in the liquid medium and being healthy, like on the left side. But when the blood cells get stuck together and they form these, these connections or these chains, that's called Rouleaux formation. And the Rouleaux formation, it can indicate infection. It happens when there's multiple myeloma, when there's inflammation, when there's tissue disorders and cancers, and anything that causes Ig levels or the immunoglobulin levels to increase will cause Rouleaux formation. And Rouleaux formation is the precursor to pathology or to disease of any kind. And one of the most recent developments is the 5G and the Wi-Fi and smart devices, which causes Rouleaux in us. So almost all of us have certain amount of Rouleaux formation in our blood. Now I'm going to go ahead and share the video clip from this documentary. I just want you to observe what happens here. Hear the sound?
The doctor is drawing blood from a patient's finger. Using a special microscope, we shall be able to see the condition of her body from this drop.
These are red blood cells, and they've lost their electrical charge, so they're all stuck together in a formation called a rouleau. Here's a huge symplast. Symplasts are associated with heart disease and many other conditions that could be coming in the future.
The doctor asks the patient to drink a small amount of structured water. After 12 minutes, the doctor again draws blood from the patient and studies it.
So you can see that the cells then become buoyant, they become slippery, and they have their electrical charge, so they repel each other. That allows them to carry oxygen, and it means that we're changing the pH of the blood. I think that's utterly amazing that just drinking water could do that.
Basically, water is H2O. So it has 2 hydrogen molecules and 1 oxygen molecule. And when water is in nature, like, up in the mountains, when it's coming down the natural springs, these H2O, the water molecules, connect with each other and create a hexagonal form. Okay, they create a very beautiful structure. And so that's called structured water. But as water comes down, it gets processed by the city, and it goes through all these chemical treatment plants and through all these pipes. And by the time it reaches our home, all of those hexagonal shapes are completely broken. It's still water, but it's lost its life. It's in a way, it's lost its consciousness, it's lost its life. So it becomes unstructured water. So unstructured water doesn't have an auric field, and it doesn't really have life left in it compared to structured water. So we just saw in that short clip that by drinking structured water, they're not talking about the chemical composition, whether there's any fluoride or chlorine, it doesn't matter. But it was just structured water. It immediately goes into the person's body, and it was able to shift the Rouleaux formation in the blood in just 12 minutes, just a couple of sips of water, not even 4 ounces. Here, they've done so much research, and they have found that when you drink structured water, there's a lot of health benefits to it. So the first thing is the cells of the body, they absorb it much better. So it gives a very high quality of hydration. Second, it allows the oxygenation of the blood. And oxygenation is the cure for half the diseases in the world. And also you will have increased energy. It helps to detox and eliminate the toxins and waste very efficiently. So it cleanses the body much better. It helps break down the food that we eat, so the digestion is improved. It helps with mental clarity and alertness, and it also promotes an environment inside which helps you stay relaxed and balanced, or reduces stress. So medically, they have proven that drinking structured water can have all of these health benefits. You have to keep in mind that there's a difference between the water that comes into our home, and we need to do something to it so that the structure comes back. And here's a second aspect of water that I want you to understand. So here's another clip from the same movie, but from a different part. And it's another, I think it's about 2 minutes, so it's pretty interesting.
In the 1960s, in a closed laboratory in Germany, something inexplicable occurred. A laboratory assistant dropped a vacuum-sealed ampule containing virulent poison into a vessel with distilled water. Trying to conceal her blunder, she just left it in the water. The ampule was discovered only 3 days later. Since it was sealed, it did not pose any special hazard, and the matter was closed. Later, the water was given to laboratory mice. And they died. Immediately, the water was thoroughly tested. Chemically, it proved to be impeccably clean. It meant that the water without direct contact with the poison somehow adopted its properties. In other words, it received negative information from the poison. A fantastic hypothesis was put forward, a hypothesis that could explain water's unpredictable behavior. Water has memory. Experiments done in many countries around the world have shown that water receives and makes an imprint of any outside influence, remembering everything that occurs in the space that surrounds it.
All right, so the second thing we need to remember is that water has memory. So Veda Austin is a water researcher. What she does is she takes a petri dish, just like this one up here. She puts a little bit of water on it, and she put it on a photograph. So the photograph that she put it on is the very first image over here, and then she froze the water. And she used a special technique, and she took it out, and then she took a photo of the water. And here is the photo. This is how the ice had frozen. And this is not under a microscope. This is just using her cell phone. Can you recognize the exact face in that photo? And this is the ice. Water completely remembers, and she kept the petri dish on the photo for only 30 seconds. She took a photograph of her daughter and the braid on her head, and she placed the petri dish on that photograph again. And again, notice how the ice froze. Isn't that incredible? I mean, water is able to have memory. I'm going to just show you some more of her images. Then she said, okay, let me try an actual object. She put a piece of broccoli in a jug of water, and then she took some of that water from that jug and froze it. And again, look at how the ice froze. It very clearly indicates that water got an imprint of the broccoli. She had a wedding card lying on her table, and it had the word wedding on it. So she put the petri dish on the word wedding, and the ice response was a ring. And she's tried different words, like for love, in different languages. It didn't matter which language she used. The water always got the correct essence. So she used words from Latin, she used words from Hindi, and in other places. But whatever word she used, the water gave a response of the correct essence of the word that she used. She went further and she said, okay, she had her daughter hold the water, and she asked her to have a thought. Her daughter thought of flying stars. And very clearly in the ice response here, you see flying stars. Then she played music. And then the song she played was Stairway to Heaven. And very clearly, you can see stairs. And she tried the same song multiple times. The image each time came a little bit different, but there was always stairs that came in the image. I'm going to ask it a question. So she holds the petri dish in her hand and she says, do you know who I am? And she froze it. What came back out was this little image over here that looks like a V and an A. And she was stunned because that's exactly how she signs her initials. She did not place the petri dish on her initials. She just asked the questions, but the water response gave her her initials. So I just want you to see that water is incredibly amazing. It is a living substance. And not only does the structure matter, but the memory that it holds is very important. That is important because when you look at the human body, we are more than 70% water. For example, our brain and heart, 73% water. Our lungs, 83% water. Skin, 64% water. Muscles, kidneys, 79% water. Even the bones, they are 31% water. Now, the thoughts, the words, and the images around us, they're affecting the water we drink and the water molecules of the food that we eat. These thoughts, these words, these images are actually informing our biology. Think about it. You know, water actually has all the 7 levels of existence. And if the water is carrying the memory of all the chemical treatments and all the processing that has gone there, it doesn't have the structure. What do you think it is going to do to our human body? Compared to if you have structured water where the memory is clean or the thoughts and the words that are put in are positive, how strongly and positively it causes healing in the body. Okay, so now the question is, how do we structure water? And 2, how do we clear the memory? Now, since this research has come out, there are many companies out there that have created devices to structure water. Of course they work, but it's much easier and it's really simple. There are simple ways that you can structure water at home yourself. So what I did was I used a couple of different ways. I structured the water, or basically I revitalized it, or basically brought the life back in it. And I wanted to take aura images to see whether it works. So I was doing an experiment where I took 3 glasses of water. One had tap water, one rainbow water, and one like a quantum ring. So basically rainbow waters, this is what I did. So there's this place in my house where every day for some time, when the sunlight falls in, a rainbow forms. It's a natural rainbow. So as you can see the image on the bottom right here, I just left that glass at that place where the rainbow would fall into the water. So rainbow is just like sunlight. So it's like Rashmi was saying, if you leave the water out in the sunlight, it will revitalize it. So it does. So except the rainbow is a little bit stronger because it has the whole spectrum of light fully, spread out in there. I left it there for 10 minutes. And then I also use a tensor ring like this one. A tensor ring is a ring made out of copper with a copper twisted on itself, and the exact dimensions of it give it the power or the way to revitalize or bring back life force energy. And for both of these, I left it for 10 minutes. And I didn't know how to test it. So I was like, you know what? I'll just keep the glass of water there and see if it changes the energy in the room. I wasn't expecting anything because I'm not really testing the water, but I'm checking the room above the water. But I was really surprised at what I found. So this is the energy of the room. And like I shared yesterday, each color represents one particular frequency. So green stands for life force energy, blue is energy of communication, pink is love, orange is vitality, socialization, purple takes you to the spiritual levels. So the room has pretty balanced energies. And if you look at the bottom over here, this little blob is actually an 8-ounce glass of water. It's so small. And I was just measuring what happens to the energy of the room. Does the water change it in any way? So when I placed the tap water there, not much change. I was like, okay, I expected that, except it shrunk a little bit. Okay. Then when I placed the rainbow water, I was so shocked because the rainbow water created this energetic field that spread out maybe about 3 feet out of that tiny glass of water. And what came out of that was the energy bands of the green and the orange. So green is strong life force energy, and orange is the energy of vitality and health, and that energy of that life force and the joy that comes with that. And then when I said, okay, that's interesting. So the rainbow water, something happened. It became alive and it's able to shift the energy of the room. So imagine if you are drinking this, the greens and the oranges are going into your energetic body and actually healing you. Then I tried the tensor ring water and I was like, oh my God, this is even bigger. It's even stronger. So this has the green and orange, and it also starts to have a little bit of the gold energy in it. So gold is one of the highest frequencies of energy that you can get. So I was like, okay, so this is interesting. You can structure water just by sunlight. That's proof. You can structure water just by using a tensor ring. Second proof. What else can I use to structure water? So I did a couple of experiments. What I tried next was here. There's a few other ways to structure water, and I tried to do the imaging for all of them. So the first, here is a comparison. Here I used a cup of water. The first one is pure filtered water, like the Berkey filter. So it has no fluoride, no chlorine, and it didn't shift the energy of the room much, except it shrunk it some. But what I noticed was this purified water made this noise in the energy. So it created chaos and noise. I'm like, okay, so that must be the residual images or the memory of the water. Never mind, let me see what other things do. Then I used a principle from biogeometry where you use the quality of numbers. And the number 16 has a very special quality. So I used the quality of the number 16 and I placed this cup of water in that. And immediately it created this beautiful green and orange energy. And not only that, all of the noise reduced. So the bands, the purple, the orange, the green is much clearer. Notice there's the spots and the disturbance that went away. And I left it in that for about 10 minutes. Okay, so 16 creates structured water and also erases the memory. Awesome. Then I use something called a biogeometry clearing tray. It's a little piece of plastic and that's got a lot of geometries and shapes drawn on it. Place the cup of water on this for 10 minutes. And this too structured the water and brought back very strong life force energy. It brought back green and orange. And this started to have the energy of pink, which is the energy of joy and gratitude and love. I was like, okay, that is awesome. What else can I use to structure water? And basically, I was trying to see, does one structure water better than the other? Is one easier? Just to experiment. So it's fine to see, these images. I thought I'll do a demo and I'll show you how the different water shifts my energy. And also together, we'll structure water right now in about 1 minute together. All right, so I'm going to be testing water using a radiesthesia tool. So there are many different radiesthesia tools. What I'm using today is called the ICUP. And this is a specially designed tool by Dr. Ibrahim Karim. And this particular tool measures my energy levels. And if my energy levels are positive and strong, it will go clockwise. Mm-hmm. And if something is hurting my energy or pulling it out or sucking it out, it's going to go counterclockwise. Mm-hmm. If it neither supports nor harms, it's just going to move forward and back. I'm just going to hold it in my field and we will watch what happens. And then I'll show you what the water does to my field. Okay. So mm-hmm. Let me just see, this is my hand and I'm going to hold it till I find the correct length. And this is about my field. So it's going clockwise and it's going pretty good circa diameter and it's moving fast. So it's showing that my energetic body is pretty strong right now. There's a water. This one over here is tap water. This is the purified filtered water. And this one is structured water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my hand over each of these glasses of water and see what happens to my energy field, because the field of water is even outside of it. So if the water is helping me or healing me, the tool will go clockwise. If it is hurting me, it's going to go counterclockwise. I'm going to try with the tap water first. So here is my hand, and I'm going to can you see the pendulum or not? It's going counterclockwise. Are you able to see that? Yeah. A glass of the tap water, because that's where the energy of the tap water is. So basically it's showing me if I drink this, what will happen to my energy field. So right now it's going counterclockwise. So it's showing that if I drink this water, it's going to harm me or basically hurt my energetic body and suck out the energy. It's going pretty strong on the counter because tap water has chlorine, it has fluoride. It's not been purified. Okay. So I'm going to move my hand to the filtered water and can you see it's kind of going forward and back. It's not going clockwise, it's not going counterclockwise. So this water is neither supporting me nor harming me. So it's fine. But when I bring my hand to the structured water and I place it over it, it starts to go clockwise. Wow. And the speed is increasing and it's going faster than it was when I first showed you my field. So when I drink this water, it's going to strengthen my energetic body and my physical body very powerfully. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I'm just demonstrating that water is very powerful and so quickly it can shift our energy. So right now we're going to use a simple technique and we just charge the water as I'm talking to you. So I've made at the back over here, I've just used 16 little shells. Okay, shells are from nature and they have a golden ratio pattern. So I've just made a circle of 16 shells and I'm going to place this purified filtered water in there and just leave it for a couple of seconds and then we take it out and see. And on the other side, I have this biogeometry clearing tray and I'm going to place the tap water, the one that is the most toxic, on this one. So this biogeometry clearing tray is actually able to take out negative energies of any kinds from all levels of existence in about 2 minutes. So I'm just going to place the tap water and see if it can actually alter the energetic effect of this tap water on this. So I'm going to just maybe about 30 seconds. And well, it's less than 30, but let's see. I'm going to take this out. I'm going to check the purified water till then. A minute ago, when I held my hand over the purified water, it was going forward and back. Let me find my field and let me get my hand over here again. And as I bring my hand over the filtered water now, as you can see, it starts to go clockwise. It's barely 30 seconds since I placed it in that little circle of just shells. So I've just structured the water. Water is very, very quick to absorb information. And it absorbed the energy quality of the number 16. It took me 30 seconds to structure this water. Okay. And I'm going to now check the last glass. Now, this water was toxic because it was making my field go counterclockwise. I'm going to see if anything has shifted here. I'm going to bring my hand up here and just hold the A cup right here and see what it does. And I want you to see, even though it was toxic water and chemically there is still chlorine and fluoride in it, if I drink this water, it will still support my body. Although not as strongly as the other two. Notice that it is making a clockwise, but it's not as strong or fast as the other two. Can you all see the difference? If I bring it over here, because this was purified water, the circle size is bigger and the speed is more. So it's showing me that this is really, really good for me. Okay. And I come back to the original structured water is also really good for me. But if I come back to this one, which I have cleared the memory from and structured it some, it is still beneficial for me now, although not as strongly as the other two. Okay. So I just wanted to share that it's really easy if you understand what is happening and if you know how to do it. So now if we drink this, this actually becomes like medicine. I don't even need the 8 glasses of water a day. If I drink 4, this will be way better than doing 8, 10, 12 glasses of water in one day, because it will hydrate much better. It will heal, and not just the physical body, but also the higher levels of my being.